There was a request to refresh everyone on the name of the text that we're reading. Dzogchen Tantras. Got that? It's a commentary by Longchen Rabjam, 14th century great Dzogchen, really architect of Dzogchen in Tibet. Longchen Rabjam's Tantric, which means instructions on the meaning of the All Creating Majesty. The All Creating Majesty is a tantra it is the main tantra. It's quite long. It has been, it's the main tantra of the Semde, the Mind Class of Dzogchen teachings. It has been translated by Longchen Rabjam and also before that by Eva Target. Just the tantra itself, which is very long, and Longchen is synthesizing it. There's no meditation instruction in the tantra, so Longchen is offering us meditation and instruction, and Lama Tenzin is offering us rich explanation so that we can really understand it. We're looking at the Tibetan text, and people who, I think I sent the Tibetan text to everybody who knows Tibetan, but if you want the text, we'll send it to you. Harvey says it's translated by Kennard Lipman as you, and Merrill Peterson as "You Are the Eyes of the World," but I have not been able to actually look at it and totally ascertain that this is what they've translated. We think so, but when I looked at it, I couldn't get a clear title that he was translating it from. So in short, this teaching is your translation for this text. And the transcript that was prepared of last year's teaching will be very, very helpful. It's very rich. It's not 100% perfect. We will complete, but it's very, very helpful. And we hope if our wonderful volunteers or others will help us again, that we will have this transcript of this year's teaching also, only for people who take the teaching. As Lama Tenzin has said, this is a closely held teaching. So we are asking everybody not to share it. If you think there's somebody you really should share it with, please discuss it with us first. And so that's a response to that question.
So I have just a very short aside to lighten the spirit of how
Does
we
the
first
spirit
met.
need lightening?
Well, because some people are new and haven't heard the story, but I think it's just so
You
cute.
don't think everybody's heard that story?
Well, there's some new people.
Okay, good.
Both online and in
Kick
present.
back and listen to the story.
So I think one of the challenges for us in the modern West is to appreciate relationship and how significant relationship is in terms of the teaching. Most people, I've been involved with Dharma for over 50 years, and most people want to come to a Dharma group. They want to sit on their cushion. They want to be alone. They don't want to be bothered. And they actually want instructions that are divorced from a person. And that's completely antithetical to the way the Dharma, especially Dzogchen, works. And so one of the learning curves as Westerners that we really have is relationship, and relationship to our fellow Sangha members, and relationship to our teachers, relationship to other human beings. I mean, these are all things that most of us as Westerners are challenged on. And I know, because I am both a Westerner and suffer on all those fronts. So we're talking about the relationship with the teacher and it being a good relationship. And I think it's just so delightful the way we met Lama Tenzin. It was 1977, and we had studied with Khetsen Sangpo in the United States, and he had agreed that if we did certain practices, namely the foundational practices, he would give us some further teachings. And so we were up in Missouri, which is a summer rest spot for the British colonials. Very, very wonderful. And Rinpoche was teaching us. And at the time, Lama Tenzin was about 16. And Rinpoche lived in this long bungalow. and the classes were held in half of it, and his kitchen and his bedroom were in the other half. And probably sometime early on in our stay, we were approaching the bungalow, and as I opened the door,
dormitory, where all the students, about 15 or 20, sorry,
I was,
15 or 20 students.
you can have that on there.
I'm going to, Harvey.
I was greeted with a pail full of water because they were having a water fight, and the person who threw the water at me was this young man who I had not really ascertained, and you can be sure what a look of surprise was on his face when he realized he was pouring water on this older, at that point, Western student. It's like, and that was, as is said in Casablanca, the beginning of a beautiful relationship. And Lama Tenzin was actually very, very honest with us, which is just very touching. And you know, in Tibetan Buddhism, one of the things they talk about, and in Buddhism in general, is talk about dependent origination, and that is how causes and conditions affect one another. And so Anne and I were very, very devoted and dutiful students, and Khetsen Sangpo was unbelievably generous. He was teaching us pretty much probably about 4 or 5 hours a day during that summer. And we would study and we would ask questions. And Lama Tenzin has been very, very honest. And, you know, we could kind of see it as well that, you know, when he was there initially, he was just kind of, as it were, doing time. And most of the kids in that setting were kind of doing time. I mean, it's just like that's where you were sent, and, you know, it was kind of school. And if you can imagine, some of you probably even were like in either Jewish school or Catholic school or Protestant school, and you know what religious school is like. I mean, you just do your time. But he saw these Westerners actually taking it seriously. And not only that, we were talking with the teacher, which is like, what? Because one of the things in Tibetan culture is that, you know, when it's kind of like what he was describing about between the Buddha and the ordinary being. In traditional Tibetan culture, you know, the teacher is like really, really kind of unreachable. And he was seeing us bring our kind of democratic, you know, talk to us, Rinpoche, we got questions. You know, just what do we know? I mean, Westerners just kind of barbarians. So we would be asking.
Also, there was a lot we didn't understand, and we were desperate.
And we would just bombard him with questions. And Rinpoche, of course, had spent 10 years in Japan, so he at least had some notion of what a foreign culture was like. And then he'd been in the United States. So Lama Tenzin was very, very honest with us, and he said, you know, I began to think, you know, maybe there's something to all of this. Maybe I should really look into it a little bit more. And also, you know, seeing that you felt free to ask Rinpoche questions that, you know, after you left, and over many years, I actually, he said, had the job of sort of walking Rinpoche back and forth from classrooms to his residence, and I would use that occasion to really just ask any questions that I wanted to pursue, and I learned from the way that you studied with him how to be with him, and it's very, very touching. To just in Tibetan they have a phrase, it's called pensun. Pensun is like mutually supportive, mutually dependent, mutually supportive. How we have been mutually supportive to one another, and he's been very, very kind in coming over the last few years to teach us, and he's very, very, Khetsen Sangpo Rinpoche had identified him as the best student that he had, and we have seen over the years the sincerity with which he practices, and has really obviously internalized the significance of the Dharma, and mixed his mental continuum with the Dharma, and it's just been that pensun of mutually supportive, how we historically opened up something for him and he continues to open up things for us, has just been a beautiful and a touching relationship and a close relationship. And that is what is so important for the transmission of the Dharma, is this human context. It's not just information on a blackboard like in a Western educational setting. So it's a moment of just both a little bit of a mini ha-ha about the history of how it all started. I just think it's such a hoot. And I mean, he was just really being a boy. I mean, fully being a boy as he should have been. And we have appreciated everything that has followed. So thank you so much.
Monere ngalaya ani ke number 2 gi mi latane ngalaya sta pendo chungso na dinde mi matona na loftu shinda na si sida tonan sig mare ani chue kola sida mujela kandi shugu mare ani nga dinde sida kechimbu tsurgi marwa ani ke number dinde 통행자 ngai samna odi 개첨부래 고갑이 야구도 아니 디니 삼는 갈아야 디기 빼마스 펜도 첨부 시다 중송 아니 지당 아주 다지 공도 주반하시래 펜싱기 드레바저와 빼마스 개첨부리자 아니 드레바디 같이 야과이나 디감짝이 독바당 아니 지 삼로낭라 지 발제디 메바 차도 아니 가족이 드레바디 야구 펜싱 야구 차와 대삼기 레하와 아니 디 랑싱기 디 시다기 개첨부당 짜첨부 망아 제라 하고 단단가 하고 들어와 no
so really it's true. I got a lot of benefit from seeing the two of you. When I was there as a student, I really wasn't that interested in the Dharma, and I wasn't certainly asking questions. And then when I saw you, really that gave rise to a great benefit for me. Really, there's been tremendous benefit in that, and so really this is what we mean. This, as Harvey said, the pensun, sort of the mutual interdependence. There was a benefit for me in seeing you, and it's important, this kind of relationship, because when this kind of mutually kind of compatible relationship arises, then it's extremely significant because it really alleviates doubt. It alleviates various kinds of mental disturbances that can be an interference.
양부체로 디메바자니 베예부나 차기들어 아니 셈나라 아니 계속 가리나 시나야 디고나시 그치인데 상화지하게 삼루
yeah
직관하시 차기들어
so, and it's particularly it's not like some kind of, it's an intimate kind of interdependence. It's not some kind of formal thing. There's an intimacy there, ease there. It's like you can talk about anything. There's nothing you like try to hide and present some kind of false front or something like that. You're just really honest, and it all feels really, really comfortable, and that's really, really good. And so that arose for me, that kind of benefit. And, in retrospect, I can certainly say it was of tremendous benefit. I became really interested in the study, and I will add, as we can see, in the practice. And so it's very lovely to feel that, we felt, from my side, I can say it was strange. We were bumbling around. We didn't understand Rinpoche very well, and he was so kind to us. And we're the only Westerner, and the two others, but we were the only ones that Rinpoche was teaching. And, you're not in your own environment. You feel like something, I don't know exactly what, but it would never have occurred to me that our presence there, which mostly seemed like an imposition on, tremendous kindness of our teacher, would just in and of itself be of benefit. And that's kind of amazing. So we never know, really, what we're doing or what outflow will be.
And Lama Tenzin
Thank you.
said that, this is important for our realization, for our
Mhm.
practice, this kind
Yeah.
of closeness. And we're not trying to work at this. It just very naturally has arisen. But I think it speaks to how we do all wish to be student and teacher and student. And there can be a lot of talk, but I think the word closeness and intimacy and warmth, this word warmth, just really feeling comfortable and connected is a very, very significant piece of the context within which we are offering these teachings to our students, and hope that you can receive them in the context of warmth and connection. And it really, being in this role as a Dharma teacher, it is clear to me how obstructive this kind of modern Western model of education is for all of us who've been immersed in it, to this completely different model of education. I mean, we kind of joke when we look at kung fu movies and whatever, but really, if you want to understand in a way what we're talking about, it's good to actually watch kung fu movies with the master and the student, and because what is being transmitted is that fire, that aliveness. It's not just conceptual data, and we have such a strong filter to think that education is about words and concepts and bullet points that you see on a whiteboard or on a blackboard, that to actually, I'm tempted to say, hear the music beyond the notes is a real challenge for us as Western students, and I include myself, because we're really talking about sensing something as opposed to dualistically knowing something, and it's a whole new set of muscles that most of us don't have that much experience with. Okay.
시산단다 라이조디다 먼저 라바나시 펜싱기 데와디 개치무시라치 디 최직부지 말이 지다이나 아니 나 소사이티 나나이네야 지속이 나나이네야 이 데와디 난소 가르치니 미신다 냠도 유디갑스 르르민도 난소 가르치니 셈낭라 다둥 데데 담보 디로 아니 미냠도 깨지세나 삽삽치야 아니 지 밀란 남주리 약부대한테 망고 쳔도 창마 가르치거스나 숙부게 간주 창마 빼 로망부냠 되베나야 셈게나니 빼 타데 시작이 장르 무차게 알았어 가족이 간디 가르쳐서나 간주 펜진 찍이찍라 이제다 디기 삼루 디 메바 인자 아니 간주 숙부간이 간주 냠도 로망부 되베나야 간주 셈간이 시작이 장르 무차네 찍이찍라 하마고 원하시 되셔게 알았어
잘하네.
디 락버도 추억이 나라 디기 빼 두체 망부터 왔단 그랬어 두체 망부터 왔단 그랬어 디기 양부들어 셈게 나라 양부서야 디 셈게 나라 양부디 매바차네 빼 예부차디 가서 아니 원에 타네 상마 빼 세부차게 그랬어 레일 하부차게 그랬어 아니 시다기 디 하고야라 시다기 깔리 매바 근데 저 정신이 차인 거예요. 뒷배 맛이 개침부리셨어.
라서.
배 개침부리셨어.
라서. 자가랑래. nga 그냥 뉴진저랑래.
나서.
그냥 낭신. 디베 레라바라.
라라.
Oh, get
라오.
Nene kachimashirare. So really this kind of sense of feeling connected, close with other people is so important. It's not just in the Dharma that it's important in life, not to feel, as we often do, just a little bit uptight, just a little bit tense, when we come in contact with other people. And it can often happen that even if we are around the same people for years and years and years, physically we're close, but mentally, really not. There's some distance. There's not this ease of being able to say whatever's on your mind and that kind of thing. And it's a very wonderful thing. It's just a wonderful human thing to feel close and easy and hanging out with people. And it's very, very important in the teaching, in the Dharma, because if you don't have that, in terms of the teaching, you can waste a lot of time, because that sense of closeness is what makes, I will use the words, it makes us permeable, to the teaching. And you really listen, and you think, wow, okay. Like when a really good friend tells you something, it resonates completely differently, even if it's just about the news, I'm adding this, than, somebody that you don't know, it's a stranger. The feeling is really, really different. So to have a relationship that feels close, it's clear, it's easy, then great understanding, still talking about the Dharma now, great understanding can come very easily, and just very naturally. Just feels very natural, just friends talking. And that's something really important.
다지 공도 쉐바 나신기 개침부지나 가르치고 삼서나 딘데기 아니 냠렌 제베 값소 아니 최기 냠렌 제베 값소 뭐네 삼바딜라 땡지고 여레스 뭐네 타네 상계기 툭 라메기 툭 랑기 셈 뭐네 타네 예와민두 케버민두 딜라 녀보다 장와도 딘데기 예와민두 오늘 전에 직바 레두 삼여기 셈바디 냠린 제베 값수 개첨부지 그거 여르스 소소라 칼레 오늘 전에 댕 약부 중에 제도 이나양 지당 냠린 매베 값당 아니 지당 값수 양 디기 삼로기 뽑아디 양 제예요 말했어 뽑아시기로 하는데
increase, enhance
칼레르디라 arrogance라고 뽑아
진데기
디시게 말은 라마 직바히 삼바디 지장 값 냠랭 값 셈게 값 아니 디 삼로 땅고 그래서 가르스나 디 객치거스 라마당 상제게 투당 소수게 셈디 이와 첨부 여레스 아니 개발 첨부 제가는 디 객치거스 냠랭 값 이내야 지당 하나서 미치게 나라 디기 뽑아디 시기요 말레스 나라마 아니 직바히 상제다 아니 직바히 디레 삼로 시기요 말레스 디 제바이나 아니 소소라 아니 랑싱기 나젤기 로케 아니 지당기 냠레 아니 차체야 제바피야 아니 나 대야 냠린제 정말로 개침을 매바 처리됐어 나 상계라 직바레 라마 직바 근데 나와 제바이나 아니 디양 약부지 하고지네 디 이가게 초스 만들어지 오늘 냠렌체 곰잡 셈가나 대셔 가서 딘데기 삼로디 예르와 메비 예르메시로와 예르메기 투디 숙충부치 제고요래 이내야 지당기 값이야 디 딘데기 뽑아디 마케바체 아니 오늘 람라 짐바신도 라바나시 아니 양 쿠샵다 데메가니 제디 개침부요래스 디니 지기지럼 파츠 만들어지네로와 쿠샵 제디
So again, as we've been talking about, in terms of practice, it's really very, very important to feel that the awakened mind, heart mind of the Buddha, the heart mind of our own teachers, and our own ordinary mind, that they are truly inseparable, that they are truly indivisible. This is something, not that there's a great distance between them. This is really important. This is important in the context of this particular kind of practice that we are talking about. Because this makes it possible for us gradually to get a real confidence in our own practice, this deng, this certainty, to achieve that, which is very significant. However, this is not, of course, meant to give rise to a sense of arrogance. And there's a particular context for that sense of inseparability. When you're just kind of walking down the street, to feel, hey, my mind is just as good as, the great Lama's mind. Of course, that's not what we're suggesting. And in fact, that kind of arrogance would be really an obstacle, an interference with our process. So we're not talking about arrogance here. And also, we are not talking about falling to a kind of extreme of saying, well, since my mind is the same as the Lamas, well then, no prostrations, no offering, I don't need to do any of that stuff because my mind is the same as the Lamas. So, of course, those would be faulty directions to end up in. However, in the context in which we are speaking, the Guru Yoga context, it is indeed very, very important to feel that your mind, our mind, is in fact one with the Lamas and the Buddha's mind.
Dine ji kechi buji. Ta dine, ta zo, tanda lame nanjo, ngolru kapsa lame nanjo di shebare di, lame nanjo di ngone tani yakuchi tangu yare, di yakuchi jangu yare. Lame nanjo kapsa ani soso lago miyata, ani kunji jabu kaya dati deke kor mangbuchi shigare, ta ngosu, ngolru kapsi garu, ngosu, ani nyamlian tawe kapsi di kapsu, dindeke kor kaya shigamare, ngone tani.
Ikonda, kare, ngusu.
Ngusu, nyamlen ngone jirwa. Tadi ngondru kapsu lame nanjo tang lago meji shigare. Nina nyamlen ngone chidi kapsu, tide lago meji de kaya shigamares.
Ngondru yobegap, ngone dawa mare.
Lao. Tada kunje gyabu kapsu. Kunje gyabu gi ngondru gi nyamlen chidi kapsu. Ani lame nanjo gom. Lame nanjo gom du soso doji samba gom, lama kunje gyabu gom dinde lago meji shigare. Ngondru kapsu.
Koso.
Yebare. Ina yang ngusu ta ngushirwa. Kunje gyalpo ngushi gi nyamlen kapsu. Tawa zochi shigare. Tawa shebe kapsu ngone tane sem gi nelu karimba di rang shigar ma tela gom gaya dinde kayo mare. Sesang tangbu tradik chiyada ujirwa. Di kechibu shidares. Ta nganzu tanda shokba mangbuji shiyani. Chik lamegi tsini, lomegi tsini, pensungi drewa de kechibu yimba. Ani dindegi drewa chungsuna, ani sosolo dre topgu yawa. Dre la tene, ani yarge dugu yaba. Dinde mangbu shiyani tsangwa karichini shiyorsa nange tradik di kechibu shidares. Tradik di yakbu chechabayina, ani nganzu tuche mangbu kepsang topgu yares. Yakbu chadu, gyokbu chi hako tugares. Tradik di mebache, ani lamsang tawe ngotu dabu chebayina, ani di ngotu topgu yo mare. Ngo matwe bayina, ani di nyamlen chena yang, ani ngone gom takta yakbu ji yungu yo me she topgu marwa. Chetang tradik di kechimida, di tsangma ngek she du tsangma, ngone tradik di kechimida, tradik di yakbu chungdi kasa, ani ngone ngotu chidi kasa, ani le habu chikdang, gyokbu ji hako de, dinde ina dikini she bares.
So the Guru Yoga of the All Creating Majesty, the text that we are reading, Longchen's commentary on it, that Guru Yoga, as we have said, involves us being Vajrasattva and Samantavatra and so on. So that Guru Yoga is the main preparation that we do for the actual identification. And it's a very, very important preparation. When the preparation is done well, then really everything will go well. The identification will go well. There's tremendous benefit in it, in doing it well, because it's not like that all of a sudden, okay, you get the identification and there it is, and it just opens for you. This identification of the view is something that will flourish through the preparation that we do. And when the preparation goes well, then the whole process, the identification, can go very, very well. So then that's the process of the actual identification of the view. Okay, that comes later than the Guru Yoga. The Guru Yoga of this text is the preparation for it, and it's very important.
So with the view, there's no kind of deity practice. It really is the nature of the mind and nothing else. What precedes it is, in fact, this conversation about relationship, what is the characteristics of a qualified student, a qualified Lama, this kind of mutual support that can occur between them. He just used this word pensun, and then a kind of heat and aliveness that can arrive in that relationship. Without that preliminarily supporting, it's hard for the view to emerge. But with all of that in place, when there is an identification, then it can come easily.
다 오늘기 따위 모델 임바디 배 시다게 둥둥을 해. 이제 시다요 말에. 아니 시다고요 말에. 녀다요 말에. 배 모델이 시다게 직하시지랑 맞대요 말에. 그래서 가르치니 직하시지 맞대요 말에서는 오늘기 샘기 진이 직배기 뭐디 무엇 디레스 랍트예요 말에. 제가 그다 탑다부지 간에 칙하시지 간 랍디가 없어. 오늘 안수 그 다릭 다부디 야부치셔나 아니 그 람상 못 듣고요. 제가 따와다 뭐저 따와신데 된다 따와디 녜시지라 알리게래. 아니 모트비기 칙디 약부지 된 거네. 된 거와 딜라 오늘 소소라 녜시게네. 오 오늘 녜 약부지 하고서 된다 창마 또 마숭 이나야 약부 하고숭 삼바 녜시길로디 따와를 내본 거였어. 디 녜시길로디 값을 가르치고서나 오늘 독바당 논트다 디네 망부지 매와 차도 그랬어. 디 매와 차도 값을 아니 따와디 셀부지 랑싱이 하고디 차게 그랬어. 디 하고와 제발라 디 모두 지인디 가서 난서 가디나 셈기 오 나디 약부 하고 그래 니디 약부 소소기양 남도기 소소기 가리 하고 바디양 디 모두기 시그널 파제반 아니야 디 모두디 약부 도투고 말이 제가 디 카투 가리셰바랑 하고 뒤아니 모두디 치카시 치게 레라부지 람사 하고 되죠. 디디 딱 녜시기로 디 따웨기 모텔 때는 깨고
녜시기로
따와라 때는 따웨 모텔 때는 녜시기로 디 깨고 그래서 당에 약부 하고숨 삼에 녜시지로
테니딜라 되는 거 탐봉 녜시
No.
따와
Motor.
Okay, 탐봉 모터
모텔 제가
Tenet.
녜시게나
So this identification of the view that we're speaking of is very brief. It doesn't take a lot of time. It's really just a few words. After all, it cannot be this. The actual nature of your own mind is not something that can be described. So one isn't going to go on and on. It's just a few words. The essence of Semgi Chunyi, Rikbengo, the essence of sheer presence, the nature of your own mind isn't something that can be described. These words are a method to evoke something that is available to your understanding at that time, and so this understanding comes about through these words of identification. When we, having had some kind of understanding prior to that, Rabbi,
모두 제가 약부 된다고
Tundako, Ngutra Ngela Tunda did call.
말에 모두 벌 때네 모두 때네
Lasso.
오 땅에 하고숨 딜라 아니 소소를 녜시게네
Lasso.
아니 갈래
So there is this identification, and you feel, oh, okay, I understand it. And on that basis, you get a sense of a definitive understanding, and then cultivate that and develop it and continue it more and more until it's stronger and stronger. And in this way, doubts and such kinds of interferences will largely vanish, and there's just very naturally clarity is arising. However, if at that time of this identification, we're thinking, okay, I really got to understand this, I really better understand it, then of course that is not a ripe situation, because that will actually interfere with the understanding.
곰 세디나 뒤져질래 시거래 곰 세디 뒤져질래 시거래 뒤져 하 고바디라 같이 대수나 하 고백이 되나 셈디 맞추고지 셈 하고 되나 같이 내봐 디기 뒤쳐디라 검색을 다위기 된 하코버지로 다위 된 하코와 디기 토라 셈바디 남도 신다 마제베 디강라 카츠 셈디 네바이나 안티라 검스 뒤쳐기 링질레 검스 봐
Jutsu gonna get it up mare. Jutsu ringba minayan. You say it about.
검스에 뒤쳐 뒤쳐를 시거
Okay.
다위기 된 하코와 디강라 까망가 데바이나 아니 계란 검레 검스에 뒤쳐지 거
So when we use the word gom, meditation, we're talking about time. So if identification is made and you understand it very quickly, that's meditation. If you spend 5 minutes within that understanding, that's your meditation. If you spend 5 minutes in the view, that's your meditation. Meditation itself is a way of talking about time, Lama Tenzin said.
It's the meaning of the view, Dawagitern, with no other kind of disturbance or no other thoughts, but just the continuity of the Dawagitern. The meaning, it's the time continuum devoted to the meaning of the view equals meditation, gom.
And the resting in the view. When thoughts are not interfering and just a resting in the view, that's meditation.
근데 제바시디 갑수 겐다 세네 시로
Gyantang.
겐다 세네
Oh, yes. And activity is when we mix dawa gyantang sene dawa when we mix our view with ornaments, that's activity. With causal conditions, sorry.
때나 공도 랑와나시 야나 셈낭라 딘데 둥해 랑와나시 딘데 겐딘데 가리 중수나 디다 아니 따와 세네 아니 겐게 왕도 마당와치 따웨강라 칼레 도도 안 딜라 제바시게레 integrate 다로
So when we
쌀장와나시
Tseljang.
제바디 쌀장와나시
Lari.
겐다
Sedang Tseljang.
Huh? Tseljang.
Tseljang yang se.
Yes.
Integrate.
So when we mix the view with circumstances, for example, anger arises or some difficult situation arises, and we are able to mix the view with those circumstances and that means not going under the power of the circumstance. There's some difficult circumstance and we would react, but we don't. We no longer react. That reactivity is what we mean by going under the power of the circumstance, which means that we are maintaining the view. We are maintaining the view by mixing our view with whatever is going on. Another way for talking about that kind of integration is to speak about training in dynamism.
So the two
particular Dzogchen term.
The two key words or phrases. One is se, integrate, and those of you who are familiar with Longchen Rabjam Rinpoche's teachings, he always would talk about integrating. And here it's coming up. It's the integration of the view with whatever conditions arise. And the other phrase that's coming up is Tseljang, which is to practice the dynamism of a situation or develop the dynamism.
근데 진짜 다와 곰바 제바 디부스 디부 갑리디 가서 아니 참마 레와당 독바다 딘디기 삼로치가 매바 세미나라 상게 톱고레 삼바다 코로알라 기기리 삼바다 아니 미치기 약불랍네 nga라 셈바 가숭 삼바다 두잘랍네 nga 셈바디 베 둥가 냥수 딘디 삼네 매바 아니 레도기 로치가 매바 차티가 데부딘디 시가데스.
So we speak about the view, meditation, and behavior. Sometimes view, meditation, and activity. This is a triad that's very commonly discussed in the Dzogchen tradition. And then the fruit. The fourth one is the fruit. The fruit means that we are no longer reactive, that we are beyond hope and fear. It's a classic way of saying that. Beyond feeling hopeful, oh, I hope I get to Buddhahood, or fearful that I will fall into samsara, through mixing our mind thoroughly with the view in the way described, we go beyond that kind of state. and then we do not have really concern. If people like us, they like us. If they don't like us, they don't like us. It doesn't like rupture our sensibility in any way. We're beyond that.
그 치시 디나네 따와디 땅 한스마도 검 잡아이나 검 제약이 깁차다고 또어디 따와라다 따와디 약부지 떡고요 따와디 약부 못하고 따와디 또야라 뜨는 원에 냠 약부지네 이딱 공도 셰베게 먼저 자직 망부지요 창마 따와 못해야지 셰버래 따와 못해라 발제 망부이던 디 발제 매야지 셰버 된저 아니 못해봐이나 아니 디페레라고 차게 그래.
So in all of this, the most important thing really is the view. The view is like the stuff of meditation. The view is what the meditation is, engaging with. The view is what what gets identified and what we realize. And to become really, really familiar with that view is what all the preparation is about. All the preparation that we do is so that we can very easily and very naturally access and truly integrate with the view and avoid, parche, obstructive circumstances.
예, 다딘데 먼저 단다 다닝 먼저 고추와래 군지게고 아니 단다 먼저 따외 간래 그래서 단다 먼저 랩서디 따외 간래.
So we began this text, the All Creating Majesty, commentary on it by Longchen, last year. And now we have come to the point of discussing, in fact, the view.
따와가는 기지가 없어. 다 당부 가르쳐서나 나와디 샘송 모터스. 나와 샘송 모터스.
So the first thing that we will do, and this is a little phrase at the very end of 488 and then top of 489, which is where we are now. The very first thing is that there is an identification of appearances as mind.
나와 샘송 모터스디. 다 된다. 나와 샘기 나와 있나 디그래. 치 율기 나와 있나 디그래. 된다. 상행기 나와 강다고 지나요. 다 참치 아니 샘기 춘출점. 샘기 롤바점. 샘라 나와점 임바디 하고고 요래. 딘디 통만 딜라 오늘은 샘데스야디. 샘라 아니 오늘은 타르투나 샘라 라레바 임바다. 아니 샘드 모토고 요바시디 가서다 당부 아니 나와 샘송 모토스. 다 디게 빼다보샤인데 가서 아니 빼나 가상 건다기 밀람나신 라벌. 가상 건다 밀람나라 사차 망부친 바다 미망부투 바다 가지바지 뭐죠. 근데 정말 밀람이 야직 세인데 가서 디 정말 현다지네 주 융화 말에 아니 소소 현다지라 파친바 말에 정말 샘기 낭라 샤르제 샘기 낭라 통제 아니 정말 니 야시디 가서 미람디 정말 파 샘라 뒤치 말에 샘레메 록스 교지면 디 낭신지 임바지 당보 디 하고고요.
So in this case, everything, whether we talk about appearances to the mind, whether we're talking about external appearances, objects that appear to the senses, all of these are being identified as mind. And this is what we need to understand, that the mind itself really is that into which everything resolves. For example, everything depends on the mind. If we think about last night's dream, in last night's dream, we were moving here and there, we were meeting with many different people, and then what happens? And then we wake up. We raise from sleep, and it's all gone. Where does it go? It has all dissolved, resolved back into the mind itself. Everything that dawns for our experience, everything that arises, actually has to do with the mind. Emerges from the mind. It's nothing but the display of the mind. And so we, in this second line here, now Simgi Rowa Takcheba, we decide, we get it, that all appearances, in fact, are nothing but the display, the play, the lila of the mind itself. So when this gets identified, we have to really come to a decisive recognition of this. what this decisive decision means is that we have no doubt. When we have no doubt, we have a definitive understanding. Ngeshe.
So the other phrase he did use was chotul for not only roba, but chotul, which is like a magical display. So everything that is occurring is either the magical display or the roba display.
Yeah, so Rolwa is in the text, so Lama Tenzin, as one gets, this is why one gets, enriched through oral commentary. He was glossing Rolwa as chotul for the Tibetan Wallas among you. So display is like magical display or play. These are ways of describing how we are aspiring to understand how things are. They're just the display from the mind. They're just the play of your own mind.
이제 만소라 나와디 가르치는 난게였으나 쌤 해볼 때는 난게래. 쌤 해봐야 나와디 매버차.
So how is it that these things can appear to us? They can only do so because we have a mind. If we didn't have a mind, that appearance would not occur.
배나 나나시나 나 디나를 해봐인자 네 디나를 가리 해봐디 나라 준 난게로. 디 나와디 네쌤 해볼 때는 나래. 네 루부 디나를 쌤디 매봐이나. 나 대랑라 매버차면나. 네 디창마 매버 통기 말이지.
So how is it that I am here seeing all the things that appear to me when I'm sitting in this room? It's because I'm sitting right here that I am perceiving all of the things that I perceive as this room. But if I weren't here, I wouldn't see them. And even if I were here and I didn't have a mind, if it was just my body and no mind available, then also nothing would be appearing to me. I wouldn't see or sense anything.
근데 개침부치 가르스나 나와디 쌤이 있어요 말에.
So
나와디 쌤기 롤바점 쌤기 춘출점 레스 쌤라 나와점 레스.
Very important to discriminate. We are not saying that all these appearances are mind. Did not say that. We're saying that all of these appearances are the magical display of the mind. All of these appearances are the play of the mind. All of these appearances depend on the mind. If not for the mind, we would not have these appearances. We're not saying that this table is your mind.
이디 그냥서 레라부 나 가봤으나 나 대두시로. 나 대두시로.
So we very easily know I am here, or you can easily see that Lama Tenzin is here. It's very easy.
그냥서 나 대두시디 나디 간디래. 니 수부디래 왜?
So what is the...
나 가봐도 나 간디래. 그냥서 나 시야기 나 땡진 대두세저로. 디 가릴 때는 나 두시거든.
콘소 계란통나 콘소
라마 땡진 대두시로. 아니 콘소 나라 대두시디 가서 콘소 나 가리 두시거든. 니 수부 대두시거래. 니 셈두 대두시거래. 야나 가리 요령아 될.
So you're sitting there and you're very naturally feeling, oh, there's Tenzin, there's Lama Tenzin, right? And what exactly is there for you when you say that? Is his form that is there? Do you feel, oh yeah, there's that form there, that body there? Do you feel the mind is there? What exactly do you feel is there when you say, oh yeah, there's Lama Tenzin?
근데 상마 야구 상마다나 떡배 딱 봤어. 떡배게 딱 봐. 아니 간지 오 딘데 do some dila 예바랑 삼제. 아니 간지 이체체네. 아니 짐바치 주바레스. 아니 짐발라 때네. 아니 간지 가와탄 두바 차와다 당와 디슬로트 기거레스. 근데 오늘 야구 다가르나 댄싱 간디래 주주나. 댄싱 수불라기도 골라기도 강발라기도 라가도나 댄싱 생에디 춘이 냐며 차.
Samathamadi Yangsana?
Labga kawa dusna de dusiro. Mone sega china kawa du gona du kangbala du kawa dus yabuda zugu chusa meba.
Lasa.
Zugu chusa meba cha. Chhe changma ani tokbe tak patam. Sem la nang watam. Matoki mone chirol ne chu dembachi dupaji yamare. In this
So in a general way, it's very easy to feel, oh yeah, there's Lama Tenzin. But if you really start to look into it, where exactly is this Lama Tenzin? Would you say the Lama Tenzin is his head, one of his arms, a finger, a moment of thought? when you really, really start to look, we begin to recognize that the Lama Tenzin that so easily we just carelessly say, oh, there he is, actually is just something that's made up. It's just imputed by thought. It's the classic phrase, Dokpe Daksam, merely imputed by thought. And that which is merely made up by thought that's what we're grasping at. And we're grasping at something, not realizing, of course, that it's merely made up by thought. We're grasping it, and due to grasping it, we have desire and hatred, and that's how we start running in the whole cycle of cyclic existence. Because if we really start to look into it, to that feeling of, yeah, Lama Tenzin's over there, what can you point to that is Lama Tenzin? Would you point to his ear, his forehead, his right hand? And when you really, really start to investigate it, there is nothing that you can point to that is Lama Tenzin. The sense of a Lama Tenzin sitting here is made up. It's fabricated. It's made up by thought. And in fact, everything is like this. All phenomena are exactly like this. Everything that we encounter is simply Dokpe Dapsai, is simply made up by thought. Is simply, another way to say this is it's simply an appearance to the mind. Another way to say this, it is simply a magical display of the mind. Another way to say is simply the play, the playful activity of your own mind. It's not like there's something there that's coming in here. That's not what happens.
Tadi tawagi ten toyala di samlo di shidagi kechebo di tenda di shidagi kechebo chaviyores. Ngone thane nang cham mato temba druba meba. Deya nangwa deya semla nangwa cham mato ngone chirol ne chu ngone gi chi 가르스고래 랑기 모으기 덴바드바 지치가 메바 창마 셈기 파 딱바tam마도 메바 디니지 하고 따와기 되는 동안에 디시다기 개체무자를 디 개체무자들 것들이 된다 가래 학공으로 쓰서는 똥바니기 로들 롤레비 그래서 갈래 똥니기 로들 내고 덴바 마드바임바 제 탐제 밀람자임바 최 탐제 유마담부임바 딘디기 로들 내고 딜레 혼디 가수 디 가르치스나 원egi sem mote shabegi sem giten toyala ani 똥바니 길로디기 시다게 펜도 치게 개 침부차게 이마도 간저 탄다 간저 가르치고서다 상마 유고고 이랬어 아니 니 예발 때는 아니 간저 상마 셈바 흘려차게 이랬어 나 대두 kubja 대두 미 대두 강바대두 난 상마 흘려차게 이랬어 나 간소를 디 똥바니 길로 디 말레베 인자 당보 똥바니 길로 리디 가서 셈랑라 신앙 중요했어. 배낭 아주 소사이티 지초랑라 미창만 내가 누구도 니군의 쇼파네 건다바 내가 지금 아니 뒤에 창만 누구도 아니 리타이어 차서나 내가 민도 아니 소스 찍고 삼을리로 아니 배 셈랑라 신앙당 기분에 맞차기로 디 문에 간소기 논트지 그랬어. 원에 집에나 난수 배 똥바니 로디 마치벤다 디기 삼로 진짜 버렸어. 딘디 값서 다 곰시디 값이야. 따와게 곰집디 값서 양결양 논취체네. 셈낭라 남도 싸와지 곰거래에 쓰기요 말했어. 다 딘데기 짐바디 메바스요 쓰기요.
양결창 양결 짐바
양결 남도 싸바지 gom jab sidi gasu yang kyo namto sarbaji gomne gom sigi omares digi zimba di meba sesi gores samunang la zimba jingurwa ji la gom gores ngana shi da dinde ji nga jang gores ngana digi zimba di meba chi la gom jab go tongba ni la dogu yo sta tenda gom jab sidi
So understanding of the view is the import of the view is very, very important for us to recognize that whatever we encounter is a mere appearance, to recognize that whatever we encounter is not real, is not truly established, Demba Truba, to realize that whatever, actually the way he put it was that to realize that whatever we encounter is nothing but appearance. It's just a mere appearance. It is not really true. It is merely an appearance, nothing other than a display from outside. It doesn't truly exist. In this way, through reflecting on this way, and that these things that seem so real and so powerful and that evoke so much distress and passion and agony and hope and fear and so on in us, there's no there there. They're not real. They're not real the way we feel they are. And to understand this, as we understand this gradually, slowly, this will bring us to an understanding of emptiness. This will bring us to the recognition that everything that we see or experience is illusory. It's like an illusion. It's like a dream. And then this understanding emptiness in this way, through this process, is very, very helpful for the identification of the nature of our own mind.
No.
Yeah, so that's why we're talking about it. All of the stuff. So, and the study of Majamaka, for example, is helpful. Why would we study Majamaka? So that we can understand something about emptiness, so that we can receive the identification. And otherwise, everything we feel like things have to exist. I need that, everything exists. We feel that there is me, there is my chair, there is my house, there are my friends, and this is, we feel that's the way it ought to be, without understanding about emptiness. That's just the way we approach things, and it is because of that we are torn apart by fear and hope and anguish. Things won't turn out the way we wish, and so on. And it's a little bit like, if somebody has a day job, full-time job, they go in the morning, they stay till the night, and time passes, and there's something to do, and it's okay. But then one might retire, and then there's nothing to do. And then what? And then one could feel a little bit, or you could go crazy and create a whole new world like Gary. Not crazy, can be compassionately crazy. But we understand that, right? When there's something that we can lock our minds into, grasping onto something, it feels a little safe for us, although it's also what, in the end, causes us such pain. So emptiness is what we need to understand, so that, we meditate on the view again and again and again. We seek to understand something about emptiness, something about the mere apparentness of everything, so that we can receive this identification and really get it. And then we will not be beset by grasping, by thoughts all the time, interfering. But this is why we do this kind of practice. This is why we do a meditation on ourselves as a deity, for example.
No.
Huh? So that we can get rid of grasping and actually understand something about emptiness, which in turn will serve us in getting this identification.
Yeah, so we are actually not creating a new view in this meditation.
Oh, right.
We're destroying holding, Dzimba. So this is unlike doing something like deity meditation or mantra meditation, which is a kind of mind creation, a Dzimba. With this kind of recognition of emptiness, it's a destroying of a Dzimba. But I wanted to ask one thing, Lama Tenzin La. Did you say Perna Dongbani Kowa Sharbe Kap Shinang Gigi Orba?
No.
Yeah. So
No.
with, and this was actually occurring last night for some folks, he said that, when you start first engaging with emptiness, fear arises. It can be that when, I'm just a short kind of comment, in confronting our ordinary mind, this sense that things don't exist the way they appear, lack inherent existence, fear can arise. And so he's kind of alerting us to the fact that there can be kind of resistance or a fear that arises when we start doing this kind of analysis and this kind of contemplation. And, we're talking about this in kind of like one morning and afternoon, but I will personally say that these kind of, especially for us who have all grown up in a Cartesian universe where Descartes insisted the external world is real, your body is a body, your mind is distinct from your body, this is not just going to dissolve. I mean, maybe if you have a lot of blessings and a lot of preparation, in the moment of identification, it will all dissolve. Yippee. But speaking for myself, I know I have been working very, very assiduously with these kinds of contemplations and considerations. And the insistence of the external object is a deep, deep habit for all of us. And so take all that he's saying in, but every word is kind of like a quintessential instruction that we can meditate upon over and over and over again, and what it means that these are appearances of our mind. It's hugely productive contemplation.
Dinja Berna Anso Kasang Gonda Milam Nala Pe Milam Dujata Berna Susu Pawa Amanashi Tongwanashi Yana accident Cheonashi Yana Chipe Duja Milam Tane Ya Langdi Kapsu Tadu Yang Semba Shena Semba Nala Shenaji Semna Angda Chetin Yungro Ta Digi Shenang de Mevsuela Nanzu Kalare Karjini Semdichi Kira Milam Re Mone Mare Mone Mare Di Milam Res Lavarwa 아니 그 약부삼도 오늘에 나디 녀디 갑스당송 단단가 녀민도 아니 밀람디 매바샤송 다디 덴바 마리샤 삼디 삼리기라 어디나 신기 동반이기 로디 칼레 차인디 가서 아니 율디 오늘 간수기 삼바나시 덴바지 두 삼바디 매바 로디 칼레 덴바기 로디 매바차도 디 매바차디 가서 아니 셈바나라 랑신기 셈슈 첨부질래 용거래 시나메바 디 밀람 나신레 덴바 민두세 삼리데 디 칼레 간주 약부 야스당구래 디 제바이나 가르치고스나 난수이 단다 이책이 셈 창망 원에레 창마 덴바레 창마 두디 난수 이체 디 원에기 이체 말에 디 원에 난수 시낭 메와디 소투 말에 디 난수 이체 디 생기 깨나 때네 아니 간수 제면자 디 생기 깨는데 매버 차도 가서 아니 신앙 들래 그래 제가 단단 간수 동반 얘기로 디 오늘 나네 샘게 나네 레바 인자 오늘 디 닝보도데 하코네 아니 랑싱기 신앙 매버 디 신라 때 무거워 신라 마때 바체 랑싱기 신앙 매버로 디 깨는 거래 다디 제바나 아니 랑왕기 아니 랑왕기 때문에 아니 신앙 매버 차게 돼서
For example, we might have a terrible dream one night and feel that we have lost dear ones, our parents, dear friend, in some terrible accident. And then even when we wake up and we're still kind of quivering and shaken and tense. And then perhaps somebody says, hey, that was a dream. It was just a dream. It didn't happen. And then we're, oh yeah, gosh, that was just a dream. And we let it go and realize it wasn't real, and all of that fear and concern and the whole world of experience that we were having around that event is just gone. And so it's also like this with emptiness. When we actually come to recognize that all the things that we make such a fuss about all the time, that they're not real like we thought, that they're just appearances to the mind, that they're just illusory, that they have no real essence, then just naturally we become more free of fear. Just naturally we let go of our hope and our fear. And this is something that develops slowly, develops over time. But it's intimately related with this letting go, this seeing through, this recognizing that the way we thought it was, just like in the dream, the way we thought it was just never was. And the way we think it is now also actually isn't. When we can understand that, then we really have the possibility of getting beyond hope and fear, because the kind of conviction, yiche, that we have in the existence of things is not like a real deep, I guess deep in a certain way. It's not like a genuine kind of conviction. It will not relieve us of hope and fear. We remain completely dependent on causes and conditions, and not free of hope and fear. But on the other hand, once we recognize the actual essence of things, we could say once we recognize the actual essenceless of things, then our inner world doesn't depend on anything else. And this gives us great confidence, great courage, great kind of independence. We are free of fear. It doesn't mean that things have to go a certain way so that we can be free of fear. We're just free of fear because we see through the apparent reality of everything.
So fear arises through this kind of apprehension of things as truly existing externally. But when that apprehension of things as truly existent is dissolved through maintaining a continuity of recognizing emptiness, then that apprehension is dissolved. There's a kind of autonomy, and fear is not arising. So this mistaken apprehension, zinba, is really the source of fear, and the continuity of an understanding of emptiness is a source of a kind of independence. You use the phrase rangwang, autonomy, and so then within that understanding of emptiness, a fear is no longer necessary. It doesn't arise. This is a big deal.
인제다. 다 딘데 디 개침부지레 하코야다. 디기 삼로디 숙체를 치르다야다. 그래서 에베 개침부다 가시기 똥바니 직부지 건바이나 딜라 닝제다 잠바다 닝제다 딘데 민두스야. 랍스팅기래. 아니 뭐네기 똥바니기 로께바이나 잠다 닝제게 로스야 데 랑슈기 윤그래. 랑싱이 윤그래. 깨나 맞대바진 거. 다디 된담 잔주기 셈. 세데 뭐네 디디기 된담 잔주기 셈디 똥바니라 거고. 만수 탄다. 군접 장주기 셈이 값었더니 코르와 둥에게 랑싱인 바다. 깨와다 나와다 치와다 가와다 딘데기 삼로 망부지 땅제더니 신이지 장축이 쌤 깨발라서 봤는데 이거를 딘족 원에 장축이 쌤 양다과디 말에 이 군접 장축이 쌤 세지 됐고 원에 된담기 장축이 쌤디 똥반이기 로디 끼리 가서 아니 랑슈기 똥니기 로다 냠도 랑슈기 아니 잠다 닝지 로디 랑슈기 용기열에서 이게 공도 아니 미개부기 부구충충기 쌤몰았다네 아니 부구충충기 제막에 강바스에네 마식도 코 누바이나 개부고 빼닝지로 기그러와디 인지민지 코 검검하래 코 당분이 개부기 부구 때문에 가서 닝부 매발라 아니 제마디 빼원에 나시잖아 아니 코 누구도 삼게 디랑싱이 깨무요.
So this is it's very important to understand this, and it will grow stronger as we reflect on it more and more. Increasing, and some might feel, well, then if you really understand emptiness in this way, the unreality of things in this way, then where will there be love and compassion? Maybe there won't be any. But actually that's not the case at all. When we actually have an understanding of reality in this way, when we actually understand that things are empty in the way that has been described, then love and compassion arise naturally. They don't depend on causes and conditions. The ultimate bodhicitta, the ultimate Zhangzhu Sem, the ultimate state of awakening, requires an understanding of emptiness. It requires that one become free of holding on to what is just a fabricated sense of reality. When we speak of developing conventional bodhicitta, the conventional awakened mind, there we are talking about being aware of the inevitable suffering of birth, aging, sickness, and death, and recognizing that all of us have to suffer those things, and compassion arises in that way. So there is a meditation to develop compassion in that way. But that is not the ultimate bodhicitta. That is not the ultimate mind of awakening. The actual mind of awakening is one in which emptiness, the way things are, is deeply understood. And that with that comes a tremendous kind of power to the natural arising of love and compassion. It's like the example I gave before. If you're a, let's say a mature adult watching children play, and you see children will build a castle in the sand, or they'll put together some blocks and make something, and then all of a sudden it's destroyed and it's devastated, and they start to cry and weep. And you watching know that, it's nothing. It's just a play house, a play, and it's dissolved. And naturally, even without having meditated on compassion, we'll feel, they're so upset, and there's really, they don't understand. And compassion naturally arises in that way. And so in the same way for us, when we actually realize the way things are, we naturally have love and compassion for everybody who is just as upset and fraught as we had been until now, and we feel love and compassion.
진짜 하고 전에 다외 못르베기 되나 아니 이 못르디 약부 동반이기 된 약부 하고 해지다니 최레레 신도 아니 다 군지 개부값이나 니사 추메룽 남카스레 아니 원에 타네 당보 만수 삼록이 딱제 당제 원에 둘도 두바두에 원에 덴버 두바두에 아니 딱바담 템바 여르베 레레 신도 딱제 당했더니 곰 잡네 아니 디 냠렌체네 니 딘데 레레라 아니 페나 군제 나네 니마 주스 샤마 주스 그러와 니마 주 딘데 곰 잡고 시거레스 딘데 제바나 아니 나지 따와기디 전 또야레디 하코트 그레스
Right. That's all. So to understand the view then is to recognize that this is the case with each and every phenomenon we ever come across. And we see in the All Creating Monarch, Majesty, the All Creating Majesty, that there are reflections inviting us to investigate how it is with the elements, with earth, water, fire, wind, and space, and to come to see that they also, in fact, are not, when we really investigate, we begin to see for ourselves that they're not really true, that they're not permanent, that they're not, really, is there something that is really atomically established? Are any of these atomically established? Are they true? Are they real? Are they permanent or not? And the text says that if we really do this, deeply do this practice for 10 days, we can in fact come to realize it. So this is where we got to last year. So before going on from here, I wanted to go over what we had done already, and then we can continue. So we are now on page 490. Rebbe, yes, I'm going to. No, I thought we got to. Oh. Rebbe, Dikaba. Rebbe. Okay. Well, I guess we could check. Lama Tenzin thinks we got on page 490 to line 6. Dirba. We can look at our transcript. I thought it was a little bit before that.
So, Annie, it's 101.
Yes, it's 101.
Should we pause here?
Excuse me?
Should we pause here for lunch?
Shall we pause here? Do I have time for lunch? Okay.
And so how long for lunch?
Are people going off-site for lunch? Or did you bring sandwiches or eat? Are you going to eat here? Huh? Go eat here? I think
People going off-site? How many people are going off-site?
you're just yeah. Oh, that
Okay.
doesn't take long then. You're
So-
going off-site, but you know where to go.
So when back?
An hour, 15 minutes.
Hour and 15 minutes. Okay.
So we'll take an hour and 15 minutes here for lunch.
2:15. We will return.
Okay.
And are you planning to have an evening session of practice?
Apparently, we don't have the room for the evening.
We don't have the room for the evening?
No, I think we probably could.
Not if you didn't.
That's what Gary's. Is that right? Right.
Who would you have to check with?
Well, I can make a call, so we'll announce. I think if we could, it'd be nice to practice a little.
Well, we have to ascertain.
Yeah, I have to ascertain it.
Okay. We'll
Okay,
be back
to
at
be
2:15.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Oh, Gewati?
Dewadi Nyurdudak Mahaguru
Mahaguru
Dzogchen
Drupjane,
Tantras,
Jawachi Jamalaba, Ti Salagabar, Shok.